Everybody, welcome back to Shock and Schlock. I'm your host, Herschel Gillis, and today is day 9 on day 10 of the 31 days of horror reviews. Jesus. Today, I'm not reviewing a Halloween-themed film, but I am reviewing a holiday-themed film from George Mihalka. A lot of you already know when I say that, 1981's My Bloody Valentine. Now, what is My Bloody Valentine about? It is this town of Valentine Bluffs, 20 years in the past, relative to this movie. This is from 1981. 20 years prior, there was Valentine Bluffs is this mining town, and there was a mine collapse, killing a large group of miners, and the survivors that were stuck in there are killed off by this man named Harry Warden. And he does, some nasty things involving putting hearts in boxes and giving them to people in this Valentine's Day dance, because the crew members and everybody couldn't be saved because this dance was going on and nobody was paying attention. So he blames them for that. 20 years later, people start getting picked off close to Valentine's Day. Hearts are put in boxes, and we're left wondering who is doing this. Could it be Harry Warden 20 years later, or is it someone new? Yeah, classic slasher movie premise, and that fits because this is a classic slasher movie. I do want to, I obviously am simplifying the plot quite a bit. There is an entire plot with a love triangle between I would say, two protagonists and a woman. Our real lead here is TJ, and played by Paul Kilman. Sorry, I was trying to find a cast list to make sure I get the names right. He comes back from being away for an extended period of time. Didn't tell anybody that he was leaving. To his group of mining buddies and his girlfriend, Sarah, who is now with his ex-best friend at this point, Axel. And there's kind of a conflict there that kind of fuels a lot of what happens in the film. And that's what I want to move into first. The characters in this film for a slasher movie are really well developed. This is actually a really well written movie. The characters are all likable. They are flawed but understandable. They're relatable characters. This isn't like a slasher movie of stereotypical teenagers. This is, this feels like watching a group of real people having real issues and then dealing with this whole thing that's going on, obviously. Another thing I like is the way the killer looks in this. Harry Warden, and all across this time, and the slasher look of this whole thing is very iconic. With this, mining gas mask on, a mining helmet with a light on it, and an axe, or a pickaxe. Really stands out from the crowd. And it also stands out for being a slasher that, doesn't have any one-liners. It doesn't talk. It's much like a Michael Myers-esque, boogeyman type character, which I really enjoyed. And I think the plot is actually rather good in this as well. A lot of slasher movies the plot is takes a backseat to the kills and the gore and stereotypes and all that stuff, and all that's all fine and dandy. I like movies like that, but the plot definitely takes center stage in this. For a slasher movie, there is not a ton of deaths. They mostly come in the second half of the movie. The first half is developing these characters, their relationships, and I found that really refreshing. Even this is almost a 50-year-old movie now, 42, not almost 50, but really liked the focus on the characters and building them up as people, so when the deaths do start happening, we care a lot more. And when those deaths do happen, the gore and the kills in this are great. You will see eyeballs popped out. You will see sprinklers put through people's mouths. The slasher, Harry Warden, or whoever is doing this, I don't want to give spoilers for that or anything if you haven't seen this, even though it's an over 40-year-old movie. He does not do things lightly. Like, this is a gruesome, mean-spirited movie at a lot of points during it. Um, the special effects are still hold up, obviously. Practical effects will always be the best. The hearts in the boxes, a great visual as well. Like, and you start seeing like Valentine's Day boxes, and they start becoming associated with that. And it is like, is this going to have one in it? Really enjoyed that aspect as well. It definitely like does a fresh spin on, like, instead of leaving a note, like you see the box with like blood coming in. It's a great visual. Um, I like the music in this one a lot. Really, honestly, a great soundtrack for this. This is definitely a soundtrack I'd like to, listen to away from the movie, which is, for me personally, pretty rare in slasher movies, but this one I did quite enjoy. Um, yeah, and it's shot extremely well. I love the way the music and the characters in the slasher and this, like, everything comes together to make this really, like, eerie atmosphere, and always something always feels off. Like the backdrop of the mines that take place. You see the mines a lot in this movie, primarily in the second half, but you do see it a little bit in the first half. And like the mines in the second half, where the group of people start getting picked off in this mine shaft. Um, it's really great. It feels very claustrophobic and confined in like this maze, and um, George Mialka definitely capitalized on using that. This film feels very claustrophobic during the kill parts and the stalking, and it's very intense. Like, the no one in this film feels safe either. So you can probably guess who will live and who will die, but way later than you would with a lot of other movies. Um, yeah, this, I don't know. The atmosphere of this is really good, and even when they're not in the mines, it's always like pretty unique locations for a slasher movie. Like, so there's the mines, and there's like the area where the people shower, like going into the mines, like above and below ground, and the visual of like the minecart going into this dark, like, abyss with a group of people is really something to behold. Um, this film plays on a lot of fears too, like the fear of heights and everything there. There's a part where a group of people have to climb this ladder because there's no other way out, and they're climbing multiple stories in this like nasty ladder that's wet, and it feels damp and gross, and yeah, just excellent. I think the pacing in this film is top notch as well. There's never a dull moment in this, despite the film primarily having the kills in the second half of the movie for a slasher movie. It still feels really good and well plotted. But yeah, it's a lot easier to talk about bad movies instead of good ones, because this movie is stellar. I have the 4K release from Scream Factory. Transfer is exceptional. Highly recommend picking this up. If I haven't said enough good things about this, I literally have no negatives for this. This is one of my favorite slasher movies of all time. Pick this up. If you haven't seen this, this is a go-to. This is a great, mean-spirited slasher movie with a great villain, great cast, great music, great atmosphere, pacing, everything. Excellent. But yeah. Anyway, that wraps up today's review. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Keep your notifications on. Thanks for watching, guys. And as always, zero thoughts, zero editing, zero planning, and zero brain cells. I will see you tomorrow, and thanks for watching.